I recently stumbled upon a cool DIY project online. Apparently, you can make a fully functional alcohol burner out of a simple aluminum Coca-Cola can. Naturally, I couldn't resist the challenge and decided to try to build it. To start, I need to cut the can into 3 parts. To make this easier, I'll use another tin can as a guide, since it's the perfect size, along with a sharp knife. To start, I need to cut the can into 3 parts. To make this easier, I'll use another tin can as a guide, since it's the perfect size, along with a sharp knife. I place the knife on the smaller tin can and press the Coca-Cola can against it. By slowly rotating the can around its axis, I get a clean and even cut. Using this method, I wasn't able to cut the can all the way through, but I can gently bend it along the cut line and it will separate completely. This way, I divided the aluminum Coca-Cola can into 3 parts, but I will use only 2 of them, the top and the bottom. You need to bend the can carefully because the metal is thin and sharp, and it's easy to cut yourself on it. After cutting the can into 3 parts, the next step is to take the top section and mark it for the holes. An awl is thin and sharp, but you can easily pierce not only the can but also your hand. That's why you need to handle it very carefully or use some kind of protection. This is how I made the holes in the can. Theoretically, the flame will come out through these holes and the fire will also be supplied with oxygen passing through them. Now I need to make one part of the can fit into the other. To do this, I carefully bend the edges of the bottom part of the can using pliers. This is the part onto which the top section will be fitted. After bending the edges, I need to check whether one part of the can fits into the other. It worked. The pieces fit tightly together and the stove is almost ready. To finish the build, I am placing a metal dishwashing sponge inside the stove. It acts as a wick-like material. Thanks to its capillary properties and structure, it draws the alcohol upward and distributes it evenly. This provides a more stable and controlled flame compared to burning alcohol in an open reservoir. The stove is ready and now it's time to test it in action. As fuel, I'll use 96% alcohol. It burns well and is perfectly suitable for this type of stove. Wow, it's burning, and burning really well. Now I'll try to boil a cup of water on it. I've got this metal mug right here. This is what I'll be using to boil the water. Have you ever done or are you currently involved in any kind of handicraft or DIY like this? Let me know in the comments below. I'd be genuinely interested to read about your experiences. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the water to boil on the burner. Every time I placed the cup on it, the flame would gradually extinguish. I suspect this happened because the cup was completely covering the top opening, which prevented enough oxygen from reaching the flame to sustain combustion. That's why I'm going to modify this setup by adding another tin can. In this particular case, I have a can that used to hold beans. I'm making crisscross cuts on the bottom of the can and folding the metal inwards. Following that, I cut out ventilation holes around the edges of the can on the side opposite the bottom. I am cutting the can slowly and with maximum care just to make sure the knife doesn't accidentally slip and that I don't cut myself. Safety first. So I have now made 4 holes in the can. One large opening is located in the bottom and 3 small ones are positioned around the rim of the can. Now it's time to put the entire setup to the test. Our homemade alcohol burner combined with the cup stand that I built using a Coca-Cola can and a canned bean container. I lit the burner and placed the makeshift cup stand on top of it. The can started to smoke a little, but that was most likely the remnants of the beans burning off that might have remained on its inner walls. After waiting a little while for the can to fully burn off, I placed the cup of water on top of it. Unfortunately, the situation repeated itself. The cup barely heats up and the burner flame begins to die down. I've come to the conclusion that for the burner to work properly, the top opening must be left unrestricted. This is because fire naturally draws upwards, combustion heats the air, making it less dense. The less dense hot air rises, while the cooler, denser air sinks and feeds the flame, sustaining the combustion process. Since I am blocking the top opening with the cup, this essential process is interrupted. I took the makeshift cup stand and modified the opening located at the bottom of the can. I bent the metal back outwards, the part that was previously folded inwards, and adjusted it so that it could act as a support or rim for the cup to rest on. As you can see, everything is working great now. With this burner, you can now boil a cup of water and warm yourself up if the need arises. However, this involves an open flame and it burns quite intensely. It is unsafe to use, especially indoors. If circumstances absolutely require you to use this type of burner, strictly follow these safety rules. Do not use it in enclosed spaces outdoors. Place it only on bare ground. Dig a trench around the burner so that if it tips over, the fire will not spread across the ground and start a wildfire.